Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. We're going to talk about the Joker and Joaquin Phoenix, and the controversy never ends. It never ends. People cannot get enough of hating the Joker. The media hates the Joker. They hate everything about the Joker. They hate Joaquin Phoenix. And honestly, he's one of them. The guy's very, very progressive. Joaquin Phoenix is not a threat to anybody, but they don't like this movie. And by extension, they don't like Joaquin Phoenix. We're going to talk about that, how problematic it is that Joaquin Phoenix is being attacked for acting. Yes, that's right. Joaquin Phoenix is being attacked by the media, by Twitter, for being a method actor, for being unpredictable on set. And other media outlets are also bringing up that Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker has no business winning an Oscar. This movie doesn't deserve it. It just doesn't deserve it. So before we get into that, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're over 90,000 subs now. Thank you for that. Want to keep the reef growing. Hoping to hit 100,000 soon, hopefully within the next month or two. That would be amazing, guys. Thank you for the support. So there have been numerous articles put out there over the last couple days about Joaquin Phoenix and his unusual acting methods, right? He is kind of a method actor, I guess. He tries to get into character. Heath Ledger did the same thing with his version of the Joker, but they're talking about how unpredictable he could be on set. And because of that, media outlets are taking Joaquin Phoenix to task, and they're taking him to task on Twitter, because of course they are, because they hate this movie, because of what it is. And, it's crazy. They will not let this go. They can't just let the Joker go. Joker broke all kinds of records. Highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. It broke $1 billion without China on a $55 million budget. It's making these other studios look really, really bad. Media outlets tried to preemptively destroy this movie by drawing comparisons between the Joker and gun violence and all of that, and it didn't work. More people went to go see the movie than they probably would have had they not gone all in and tried to destroy Joker. But now we're gonna nitpick. Now we're gonna go after Joaquin Phoenix acting method and call him a danger. He's dangerous. Joaquin Phoenix, who got arrested for going to a climate change protest, who is a major animal rights activist, a vegan, outspoken PETA spokesperson, I believe. This Joaquin Phoenix is a danger. He's a menace. He is a menace because, we're going to conflate the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix himself. Okay, so Sci-Fi Wire, how Joaquin Phoenix unpredictable fighting improv made Joker all the more dangerous. And they sat down with the stunt coordinator, George Aguilar of Joker, and they talked about how dangerous he was on set. So he didn't want to really practice the fighting in Joker. He wanted it to be organic. He wanted those fight scenes to be organic. Arthur Fleck was about to kill his former clown colleague Randall. That much was clear. Less obvious was how he'd do it. The stunt coordinator, George Aguilar, didn't know where actor Joaquin Phoenix, on the way to transitioning Arthur to the murderous Joker, would strike. Would he stab the stunt double in the heart, in the neck? Stunts like these are always meticulously choreographed, but when you're working with an actor like Phoenix, who thrives on doing the unexpected, a certain degree of flexibility is required. It's like a dance, Aguilar says. You have to adjust to what he does. So we told the stunt double, this is basically what we prepared. You just don't know, and you have to roll with it, basically. Phoenix opted for a quick thrust to the neck, then the eye, and some head bashing for good measure. It didn't look rehearsed at all, Aguilar said. It just looks violent and vicious. And that's what we wanted, because that's the first time you really see Arthur go crazy on somebody. That's true. That's true. That's actually, one of the best scenes in the movie, in my opinion, because his short friend, he had to let him out because he couldn't reach the lock on the door after all this. Anyway, Phoenix's tendency to go off script and come up with new, unexpected action kept Aguilar, the stunt team, and the other actors on their toes, especially because the actor often didn't want to rehearse in advance. He'd have them rehearse without him. In prepping the scene where Arthur Fleck kills 3 guys on the subway, Aguilar sketched out the action with the 3 actors and warned them, look, this is what we got planned, but it's probably going to change. It's probably going to change, and it did, with Phoenix suddenly kicking back. These weren't stunt people. These were actors, Aguilar says. They were just supposed to beat him up, and all of a sudden he starts defending himself. He tried to kick the guy who punched him about 4 times. The actors rolled with it, and one of them even improvised a line, "We've got a kicker, huh?" Arthur's unsuccessful resistance changed the dynamic of the scene. And they talk about that, and they talk about the stunt car scene, and they talk about some other scenes with Phoenix. Phoenix wanted it to look organic. He wanted it to be a surprise, you know, and that is part of his method. But now Twitter is calling him out. Some other news outlets, as this happens, are, you know, kind of getting their digs in that, you know, he's kind of crazy, isn't he? He is the Joker in real life, isn't he? No, he's not. He's not at all like the Joker. This person on Twitter, I saw this going around yesterday, 17,000 likes. From the sound of it, Joaquin Phoenix was a loose 5-year-old instead of Joker who didn't want to listen to directions sometimes. True genius is when you endanger your fellow actors, crew, and yourself. Who is this? Voice actor. Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure. Can you imagine being an actor just trying to get through a scene and you can get kicked in the face by Joaquin Phoenix because he didn't feel like rehearsing stunt choreography because he's a cool, brilliant method actor? So yeah, I mean, people are kind of taking him to task for that, but I don't think this is actually that unusual. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I know there are other actors. You know, Heath Ledger was one of them. Heath Ledger was one of them too that also really tried to improvise and wanted the scene to feel organic. You know, I personally wouldn't like to get kicked. I'm going to tell you the truth. I wouldn't like to get a surprise kick to the head if I was doing the scene. But, you know, they did warn them that he's unpredictable. I'm sure they signed some papers that he was unpredictable. People do get hurt filming movies all the time, you know. It's just, it kind of goes with it. But, you know, what's going on now is there is a narrative, and you can see how much traction is picked up on Twitter, a narrative that Joaquin Phoenix is dangerous. He's a loose cannon. He's probably exactly like the Joker character in the movie. He probably enjoys kicking people and punching people and hurting people because, gosh, he probably is. Maybe he's even an alt-right Yahtzee. Maybe he is because he's a skinny incel who shoots people. He probably is like that in real life. And actually, he's not. He jetted out after the SAG win. He had to go comfort some pigs and do some activism because that's the person Joaquin Phoenix actually is. This crazy, murderous, bloodthirsty actor went to go be with some pigs because he's an animal rights activist and to comfort some pigs right after he won his award because, you know, he's bloodthirsty and he just absolutely wants to see living things suffer. Absolutely. And I think he got arrested for protesting at a climate change event or something last week. You know, awful. He's just out to burn the world down. Absolutely. So the most threatening man on the planet, right? So on top of that, now we're getting more articles coming out talking about how the Joker doesn't really deserve the wins. It doesn't deserve the wins. Cinema Blend saying that Joker's not a game changer. It's not a game changer. It's not a superhero movie. It's based... Well, I agree with that 100%. Joker is not a superhero movie. Joker is not a superhero movie, and Picard is not a Star Trek series. You know, it's kind of like they took familiar characters and put them in something completely different. One is more successful than the other, though. So far, you guess which one. But, you know, Cinema Blend is basically arguing that the Joker is not a comic book movie. People try to call it the most successful comic book movie of all time. I actually do agree with that. Again, I agree with that somewhat. It is very, very loosely based on the Joker. And this Joker, Arthur Fleck, is not Batman's arch nemesis, okay? Batman would kick Arthur Fleck down the stairs, and that would be it. You know, but it is a compelling story. It's a compelling movie. But yeah, if you took the Joker branding off of it, took the Batman branding off of it, it would completely be the same movie, basically. You could just call it Clown, you know, Bad Clown or something, and it would basically be the same movie, but it wouldn't make $1 billion at the box office, would it? Because people want to go see the Joker. But he's not really the Joker, which, again, that doesn't mean the movie's bad, but I'll agree with him. He's not the Joker, but they're tied that not being a big step forward for comic book movies. It's not. because it's not a comic book movie, but it's an impressive movie in its own right, for sure. But we're starting to see more articles like this. Vox, Joker is the most nominated film at this year's Oscars. It shouldn't win Best Picture. It just shouldn't. It can't. It cannot win Best Picture. This year's most controversial film and its highest grossing non-Disney film is now the Oscars' most nominated film, which I find not particularly surprising, but a little exhausting. I've never felt that this movie had much to say. It reminds me of a game of telephone, which Taxi Driver and the King of Comedy said at first, and then something got lost in translation. There's definitely an influence. Not gonna lie, there is. But it obviously struck a massive nerve with audiences as well as with the industry, which has heaped praise on it, beginning with The Golden Lion at Venice. Joker was programmed at most of the major festivals this fall. Joaquin Phoenix seems all but certainly poised to win the Oscar for his performance. Yeah, I think if nothing else, Joaquin Phoenix should win for best performance. And part of that is the authenticity that he brings to the character that people are complaining about now. But would the movie have been as good if the Joker was in some highly choreographed fight scene? You know, if we had a Batman and Robin style fight scene with pow, biff, bam, you know, when he's on the subway, I don't think it would have been nearly as good. It feels very real. It feels like the Joker could have been any of us. Here's one of the folks on Vox. I guess they had a round table. Let me tell you about watching Joker 3 days after Christmas on a DVD screener with friends long after the buzz had died down. I didn't get it. By didn't get it, I mean I didn't get any of it. The controversy, the concern trolling, well, I agree with that. The praise, this struck me as boring, bland, mostly uninteresting, centered on a decent performance that nevertheless seemed to be constructed entirely out of gifts. So the real center of this film isn't the leftist politics. It's an anguished whine about how you just can't tell jokes anymore, and like, fine, Todd Phillips, maybe you can't. Joker won so badly it shocked me that I remained unshocked. I mean, look, these are conversations to have, but it's so weird that we're still talking about this movie. We're still talking about this movie, you know, months after it came out. It came out in freaking October. And now because it's got all these nominations, it doesn't deserve them. And now because Joaquin Phoenix might have kicked the guy and it wasn't scripted, now he's got to be taken to task on Twitter. You know, it's crazy. I mean, how much impact has this movie had on pop culture? Look at all the conversation about it. I can't think of any other movie really that's had this much conversation, both good and bad, in recent memory. So the movie absolutely has been a game changer in that regard. So I'm going to wrap it up. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment below. We'll talk later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.